There's no bones about it. These apple cider skull cakes are just to die for. Welcome, my dears! Your ghost host is here once again to bring you a bone-chilling new recipe for the Halloween season. So I picked up this incredible cake tin recently, and I knew I just had to plan a recipe around it. Take a look at this absolutely spooktacular skull cakelet tin. Isn't it wonderful? Today, I'm going to be using this tin to make apple cider skull cakes. Oh, how frightful! There is no time to lose. Let's get started. For these cakes, I will be using a recipe from the Domestic Rebel for an apple cider bun cake. I will put the link to the original recipe in the description below. We will begin by taking one large apple that has been peeled and chopped and placing it in a medium saucepan. I am using a Honeycrisp apple for mine. To this, we will add 1.5 cups of apple cider. Bring this mixture to a boil over medium heat. Then continue cooking for about 15 minutes until the apples become soft and the cider reduces slightly. I was curious what the difference between apple cider and apple juice was. The answer can actually vary depending on where it comes from. However, the Massachusetts Department of Agricultural Resources defines apple cider as raw apple juice that has not undergone a filtration process to remove coarse particles of pulp or sediment, and apple juice as juice that has been filtered to remove solids and pasteurized so that it will stay fresh longer. Very interesting! In many parts of the world, cider would refer to an alcoholic beverage, but in the US, apple cider is typically non-alcoholic and less referred to as hard cider. Once soft, you can mash the apples to form a puree. Then we're going to measure out 1 cup of this mixture. You might have a little leftover sauce, but that's okay. It's lovely to snack on, so don't throw it out. Just set it aside for later. Add in 1/2 cup of milk to your measured out apple mixture. Then set this aside while we work on the rest of the cake. In a large mixing bowl, add in 8 tablespoons of softened butter, I almost missed there. 3/4 cup of granulated sugar, and 1/2 cup of light brown sugar. I love it when it comes out like that. Using an electric mixer, we'll cream these together until they are pale in color and fluffy. Creaming commence. Add in 3 eggs, 1 at a time, mixing well in between each addition. Add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, and 1/4 cup of vegetable oil. and mix well. In a separate bowl, combine 2 1/2 cups of flour, 1 1/2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, and 1/4 teaspoon of allspice. I don't know why we need all those other spices if we have allspice right here. Whisk these all together. Now we will alternate adding in the flour mixture and the apple mixture in 3 separate additions. Mix on low speed in between each addition, scraping down the sides of the bowl as needed. It's time to add our batter into our spooktacular cake molds. To keep the cakes from sticking, make sure your tin is well greased. I like to thoroughly brush the inside surface of each tin with shortening, then add a dusting of flour to ensure that those cakes will come out intact. Now, let's carefully pour the batter into each tin. We will want to fill the tins no more than 3/4 of the way full. This recipe will make enough for 12 skull cakes. I only have 1 tin, so I will be doing these in 2 batches, allowing the tin to cool completely before adding the second batch of batter. Once each tin is filled, they will need to bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 177 degrees Celsius for 20 to 30 minutes, or until a toothpick inserted into the center of the cake comes out clean. Allow to cool in the pan for 10 to 20 minutes, then carefully invert onto a wire rack to finish cooling. Oh my! Look how delightfully frightful these look! For a final touch, let's cover our skulls with a coating of cinnamon sugar. Not our actual skulls, of course. These skulls. Here I have 4 tablespoons of melted butter. And I'm just going to take a pastry brush and brush all over the tops of one skull. I do like to avoid the eye sockets on mine. I think it gives them a much spookier look once the cinnamon sugar is added. In a bowl, combine 1/3 cup of granulated sugar and 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Next, we will dip the skull into the sugar mixture and gently roll it back and forth. Oh wow, that looks wonderful, doesn't it? Repeat these steps for each skull cake. All right, let's cut into one of these and give it a try. Talk about skull splitting. Goodness me, I just can't get over how these turned out. They may look quite frightening, but there is nothing scary about the way these taste. Wonderfully spiced with lovely notes of apple cider and a perfectly soft texture. I highly recommend giving these a try. They are a skeleton of fun to make. And if you are looking for more Halloween-themed recipes to try, be sure to check out some of my Halloween specials from years prior. Until next time, bon appetit!